Hey guys, it's Ken McElroy here. What I'm going to do today is talk to you about the 6 reasons as to why you are not a successful real estate investor. Number 1, you lack the ability to self-educate. Now, I know for a fact that most of my friends and most of the highly successful people that I know read somewhere between 20 and 50 books a year. They're constantly trying to reshape their view. They're constantly trying to reshape their opinions. And they're not caught up in a lot of sitcoms and Netflix and all kinds of things that take their time every single night. If you want to self-educate, you should be downloading podcasts. You should be watching YouTube videos. You should be seeking out books and authors on topics that you want to educate yourself on. This has a lot to do with discipline. It just depends on the choices that you're making and the discipline that you have around that. No different than whether you're working out or not. As the old saying goes, action expresses priority. And the question is, are you making self-education a priority in your life? Number 2, you struggle to save money. All successful people go through a time frame where they're highly disciplined around the choices that they're making and the money that they're spending each and every month. Whether that's a cup of coffee or eating out all the time or a gym membership that they're not using or some kind of subscription that they signed up for years ago that they're not using. And when you have some savings, then your anxiety and your fear are reduced and then everything is better in your life. And this really has a lot to do with what you need and what you want. And they're very, very different. So you have to decide, and only you can decide, what is it that you really need and what is it that you really want? And if you could put those into 2 different buckets and you can make different choices and you can get back to being super disciplined, then you'll have the savings that you need and you can reduce that anxiety and fear later down the line. And if you want some help and some ideas around this, I created a financial stress test just for you guys, and I'm going to put the link down below this video. Number 3, you aren't able to invest money to make money. So this is really 2 paths. You take an active path or you take a passive path. You have to decide. So in my own family, my brother took the Y toward the passive role. He worked very, very hard his whole life, carved out a little bit of his paycheck, gave it to a financial planner, a wealth manager, and they invested it the way they wanted to invest it. And every so often, he decided to meet with them and find out how that money was doing. But he never really understood how the money was invested, where it was invested, what fees they were taking. And all he really did was monitor the big balance. That's one strategy. That's a very passive way of having somebody else manage your financial future. The other road was my sister, who took a very active role. Now, what's interesting is that my sister never went to college, and so she was a bookkeeper at a medical clinic in the small town where I grew up. She realized in her late 30s and early 40s that she was going to have to take an active role in managing her money. And so she decided to do it through real estate investing and property management. And so she started buying rental real estate that cash flowed, and she realized that she got all these tax advantages and passive income from actively managing her real estate portfolio. And today, she has over 6 figures a year coming in tax-free on her rental real estate and has millions of dollars in equity in those homes and apartments that she bought over that 15-year period. So they're just 2 different paths. So in the path of my brother, he turned his money over to somebody else, never really fully understanding on how his money made more money. In the path of my sister and the road she went down, she actually took a very active role and completely understood and how to take her money and invest it and make more money. If you aren't clear on how you're able to invest your money to make more money, then that's financial education. That's something that you can do easily. That's something that none of us have when we get out of school. And that's something hardly any of us are taught at a young age. But all of us can learn that. Number 4, you can't make decisions quickly. Now, don't get me wrong. We all have a system and a process to be able to evaluate things and have a strategy around those things. I understand that. But I know so many people that just, I call it analysis paralysis. And they're using their analysis as the excuse to not do anything because guess what? They need more analysis. So it's analysis paralysis. The same is true in real estate. When I first started, I was scared to death. I had no idea what I was doing. But after I studied the things that I needed to study, I took action. I took one step. And that first condo was really scary. It cash flowed a little bit. The second condo was a little bit easier, a little bit better. You just got to take that first step. Number 5, you just want passive income. So this one cracks me up. Now I get this. So what passive income is, for a lot of you that don't know, it's basically finding something that cash flows. So you spend $1,000 a month, you get $100 of passive income. That's a 10% return. It's passive. In other words, it's invested. You don't even have to think. It just is reoccurring cash flow. Everybody wants this. And so the term passive income is thrown around all the time. But here's the thing. There are lots of people that just want passive income, but they're lazy. They don't want to put the time and the effort in. It takes a lot of effort and time and study and personal development and financial education to be able to grow your passive income. And it's fun. And once you get the passive income like I've done and like so many other people have done, then the other stuff becomes really fun. There's no pressure on you to have a job. There's no pressure on you to sell anything or buy and sell anything because you've got this passive income and you're on your road to financial freedom. That's what passive income is. And so a lot of people just want the passive income, but they don't want to put the work in. You have to put the work in order to get the passive income. It's just the way it is. Number 6, you lack consistency and patience. So this is an interesting one to me because what happens is people aren't disciplined. This has a lot to do with just discipline. So a lot of you have habits now. I know this for sure. You get up, you do the same thing almost every single morning. A lot of people fall into this, so it's okay. The point is, change those habits, change that discipline just a little bit. I'll give you an example. There was a period of time where I was not working out every day. And then I decided to hire a trainer and meet him at the gym. And all of a sudden I got into a habit and a discipline and a consistency. And then of course I got into better shape. I started to feel better. I started to eat better. That's discipline and that's consistency. We all go through periods of time where we don't have it. So I understand what that's like. You can do the same thing with real estate investing and managing your financing and education. Every single day you should be doing something that's disciplined that moves you forward, like listening to a financial podcast or watching a financial YouTube just once a day. It doesn't need to be very long. Reading a few pages out of a book. For me, I'm trying to learn how to play the guitar. So for 10 to 15 minutes a day, I'm just learning how to play the guitar and that's it. I'm also trying to meditate. So every single day I bought a meditative app and for 10 minutes a day, I'm trying to learn how to meditate. So these are things that I've adopted into my own personal habit and I am now disciplined on and I have consistency because once you stop that consistency, then you stop growing. So the other one is patience. And we all get frustrated because things aren't moving along as quickly as you want. I understand this. But along with patience comes persistence. And so you have to wait and be patient and then be persistent to push through those things that you know will make you a better person, that you know will make you more money, that you know will ultimately get you to your goal. So just a couple years ago, my partner and I decided to be patient on our real estate investing as an example. It was one of the hardest things we had to do because you can imagine we had all these investors that wanted to invest. We had this entire brokerage network of people that were giving us deals. We thought that the market was peaking out, and so we had to be patient and diligent and consistent in the way we invested our money and our investors' money. And that didn't come without a lot of criticism from people. People are like, why are you guys not investing? This is the greatest time. But we just stuck to our model of cash flow and return, and we're not trying to time the market. And that took consistency and patience. If we can do that, you can do that too. So one of the things that you can do if things just aren't aligned for you right now is you can go out and find a mentor or a coach. And by the way, this is not anything you have to pay for. Just find somebody, anybody that can help you, coach you along, and teach you some of the things that they've done. Because I guarantee you that they've been consistent and patient throughout their life. There are certain habits and certain things that successful people have done throughout their life. And if you just ask them for a cup of coffee and say, what can I do? They will help you. I promise they will help you. So just find people that have the success that you want and ask them if you could buy them a cup of coffee and bend their ear for 30 minutes or an hour. I did this as a young man and it works. If I can do this, you can do this.